Hi, thanks for joining us for the Kids First parenting series, Discipline Means to Teach. Today you're watching part 2, Strategies. I'm Monaghan, an early childhood education coach. This material today comes from 3 experts in the field of social emotional development: Dr. John Gottman, Dr. Dan Siegel, and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson. We've also included material from the Pyramid Plus approach, which is a social emotional curriculum that we believe in strongly. So what is discipline? According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, discipline is not punishment, and it is much more than rules or consequences. Above all, discipline is teaching. So teaching our children what we want them to do. Discipline means teaching our children what we expect from them. So this could refer to rules, boundaries, how we want them to self-regulate, self-sufficiency, as well as social skills. Supporting young children's development means providing limits as well as opportunities. The way we choose to set limits for our children is known to have significant impact on their development. Therefore, your role in disciplining or teaching your children is so important. If they don't learn appropriate behavior from you, from their adults, their parents, how will they learn? I like to think that there are many ways to parent our children. One way is to tell our children when they're not doing what we want them to do. This is a form of punishment. Punishment focuses on the behavior. It's a very old way of disciplining our children. Punishment can lead to children obeying out of fear rather than because they want to do what's right. And punishment also leads to disconnected relationships with our children, and it can lead to messages of shame. Another much more effective way to teach children what we want them to do is to tell them exactly what we want them to do and then tell them when they are doing that thing. So that's what we call discipline. Discipline focuses on teaching children what we want them to do. So here's an idea of what this might look like. Let's take some deep breaths together. I can tell you're really upset. It looks like you might need some time to calm down. Let's talk about what happened. We really want to get on the child's level and help them find solutions to the problem. And we also want to teach the child exactly what we want them to do. So if we have a child who has hit her brother because he knocked over her tower that she was building, we would say to her, it's not okay to hit your brother. When you're upset, you need to tell your brother to stop. So there we're just telling the child exactly what we want them to do. So here are some tried and true strategies that we recommend. Pick your battles. It's your choice whether or not to focus on the minor issues. You may want to save your energy for those situations that you might have greater impact. We want to manage our emotions. So this goes back to self-regulation. Be in touch with your feelings and your emotions and express them appropriately so that you can model for your child the appropriate behavior that you want to see in them. Also, consider your child's perspective. This helps you to see what they're dealing with, and it also helps you to respond with empathy, which is so important. Next, be consistent. Don't enforce or remind a rule sometimes and not other times. Have the same expectations all the time. An example of this would be if one time I was visiting a family and the children were having a great time jumping up and down on the couch. They were having a fabulous time, and the parents kept saying, stop jumping on the couch. We don't jump on the couch. And it was very obvious that they jump on the couch all the time when there isn't a guest in their home. So it's very important that we tell children this is the rule, but that it's the rule all the time. So more strategies. Remember to give that effective praise that we talked about in the last videos. Focus on that effort and not the product. It's also very important to have clear expectations. One way we can do this is by creating visuals and then explicitly teaching our children what those expectations are. Some families use visuals to state household rules, and we want to make sure to state those rules in the positive and keep it very simple. So let's look at the next slide with the visual rules. These are some examples of visual strategies that some teachers in preschools and then also parents use at home in order to make their expectations clear. So visual strategies can support visual and auditory communication. Some of us learn better when we can see pictures and steps rather than being told what to do. Visuals can also teach routines like activity steps through pictures. Visual strategies can also cue or teach positive behaviors and expectations, like rules, such as gentle hands, walking feet, and notice they're stated in the positive. Visual rules and routines also promote independence in children. So if a child can look at a chart and see, oh, first I get dressed and then I brush my teeth, then the child is learning to do these things on their own. And visual strategies can also improve your relationship with your child. If your child can see what they're supposed to be doing, then you can stop telling them and possibly nagging them, and then spend more time enjoying their company. Communication is really the key for stating routines and rules and expectations. So instead of saying what not to do, tell your child what you want them to do, and then reinforce the behavior by telling them when they did what you wanted them to do. Remember to give that effective praise and be very specific about what the child did well. Find good behaviors and celebrate them. So some examples are, instead of saying don't run, we would say, please use your walking feet. Thank you for walking. Instead of saying stop whining, we would say to the child, please use a calm voice. That's better. Now tell me what's wrong. Another example would be, instead of saying no biting, we would say to the child who's bitten another child, we only bite food. Please use your words if you're upset. Then, of course, we need to teach the child what words we want them to use. So an example would be, tell your brother that you don't like it when he knocks over your tower, or tell him to stop. And then when the child does use words that we've taught them, instead of biting, we would say, thank you for using your words. Another strategy we recommend is called time away or time in. We really don't condone timeouts. Timeouts can be scary for the child and make them feel rejected and isolated and alone. It's also not using the opportunity to teach the child the appropriate behavior that we want to see in them. Time away or time in is used for when your child needs some time to calm down with you in order for you to teach them what's right. This should not be used as a punishment, and it also works best if you stay with your child and tell them, I'm right here with you, while they calm down. Time away is not as effective when your child is hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So anytime your child is hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, halt. It's not a teachable moment. Wait until they are in a calm or receptive state so that you can teach them the appropriate behavior that you want to see in them by stating clear expectations and giving that effective praise. Thank you for joining us. Please look for our other videos in the series where we give more parenting tools and strategies. If you have any questions about this material, please feel free to contact us, and please use the resources that we have listed on the slide for you. Happy learning and happy parenting.